dulu. Kita habis orang, entendeu?
Tem uma pessoa. Ah, eu, né? Okay, so. Hi, thanks for coming. Hi, thanks for coming. Hi, thanks for coming. If you want to learn a little bit more about these characters, you can check on my manga. It's free on the link. And please, if you like what you've seen, you can subscribe or like or share with your friends. This is one of the villains. His name is Metus. Metus is the sum of all fears, and he's one of the characters in my manga. And of course, he's a villain, but as it is right now, his power is still unknown, because different than the other villains are made on hell, but he's made on earth. So yeah, he's a different villain. Thanks so much for coming. Today I'm doing Metus, which is one of the villains in my manga. His power is still unknown because he still didn't show, himself properly on the book. Just a page, and was showing about his creation, how they created him. He actually was created on Earth, different than the other villains on my book. The other ones are called shadow beasts, which they are all made on hell. But he is a creation by humans. So humans discovered the way that hells operate, and they try to play God and do the same with him. So he was created during the Second War, and he's actually the sum of all fears. That's why in my book, that's why they create the war, so they can extract all the fear. And this is the main reason actually in the war happened in my book, but of course only the main characters they know. But normal people in my book, let's say for example the story, they think it was just a war between the countries, but actually everything was created in the background just to create this being. I'm trying to use I seen it on TikTok that there is a guy, he's using like two colors in order to do the drawing, so I'm basically doing the same thing, which is just two colors, and of course there is some shadow and lighting from these colors. But yeah, it's pretty fun. Thanks again for coming. If you're new to my channel, if you can kindly subscribe or share with your friends, I'll appreciate that. It will help me to make this thing happen. And if you want to see my book, it's there, it's on the link, it's free. And I kindly ask if you can subscribe, like, or share with your friends if you like manga, if you like shonen style manga. Unfortunately, this year there are many shonen style that are ending, and yeah, this is a sad thing. Maybe there are new anime coming, new mangas coming. Jujutsu Kaisen is at the end. My Hero Academia and others. Of course, I mean not in their league, but again, if you help me, you never know. And again, one of my things that I want to do is to make, to pay tribute to my fans. So eventually I'll mention you in my book. If you like what you've seen, you might appear itself in my book somehow. And yeah, this is what I want to do. This is something that I already have, since the beginning I was already in my mind. So I might create a background character, on maybe using your face or your description as a tribute. Again, this is one of the villains. It's called Metus. Technique I'm using today, I have seen it on TikTok, a guy who's getting a lot of attention for using only 2 colors. I said, okay, let's just do the same for one of my villains. Again, in my book you can check a little bit about him. Unfortunately, only show his roots because the time didn't come yet to see him in action. But you can see him, how he was created. You can see on my book. Hi, thanks for coming. I'm trying to do a new effect in this art. I'm using, like I have seen on a TikTok a guy doing, like using just a 2 scale of colors, but he's saying 2 colors. But I'm doing the same, try just to see if it looks good. I have seen his work and it's working on mine. This is one of my villains for my book. You can check on the link, the book is free. Okay, I'll stop a little bit to deal with these colors, and now I'm going to this part, so later I can pop again the blue. So this is the way I do in layers. Now let's try this color. Still not sure if it's dark enough, but it's better start with a light color in case if I make a mistake I can fix it. Hi, thanks so much for coming. This is one of the villains of in my story, in my manga. You can check on the link. And different than the others, he's not made on hell. He's made actually in our plan. See, in my book, we call it's called A minus and A plus. A plus is the outer world which they live, which us, let's say, we live. And the A minus, which is the absence, is not hell. It's another layer of, let's say, between our plan and hell. and this is where the villains usually they come from. You know, they access us, they can reach us. But this one is not. This one is made on Earth. You can see how he was created on my book. It's not showing yet his potential and fighting skills. It's only showing his creation, because it's just, you know, this is the beginning of my manga series. So for sure he's there. He will be there on the next book. I'm trying an effect that I have seen on TikTok, which is using two colors. It looks pretty good. Thanks for coming again. If you like what you've seen, please subscribe, hit the like. It will help me a lot and make this thing happen. I have started the creation of this book maybe around 25 years ago, but only now I'm having the chance of making this thing happen. If you have questions, please, you can send it to me. I'll be happy in answering. I'm doing one effect that I have seen on TikTok. I thought it was pretty cool, using just, let's say, two colors. And I'm being happy with this effect. It looks pretty cool. And again, this is one of the main villains. He will be on the next book, most likely, my manga, my other manga. He's not made on hell like the other ones. He's made here on Earth. As in my book, I call the A+ world, which is the outer world. He's not made on hell like the other ones. So the ones from hell, they can only access the A-, which is the absence, and the absence is where usually they come, so they cannot be close to humans, but he was created here. You can see on my book, it's on my manga, you can check there on the link. Again, I'm using these Ohuhu markers, which is pretty good, at least from somebody who is new to the marker scene like me. He's doing pretty well. My background used to be realistic art, which is completely different techniques. Still have a lot to do. This is only the first layer of the art. I have more later to do in the blue, more shadow and more highlights. And also from the same color here, this sort of peach. But in order for me to understand where I need to go, I need to do this part. So I need to understand if I need to go darker with this sort of peach. And how many layers still I need to do from the blue. Again, I'm using this technique which I have seen on TikTok. I saw a guy using 2 colors and I said, okay, I'll just give a try. And it's pretty cool. Thanks again for coming. If you want to know more about the story, you can check on the link of my book. Around 20,000 people already have read my book on Manga Plus, which is pretty good. In YouTube channel now I'm a bit new, but on Manga Plus I already have my let's say fans, people who are already following my work. Still have a lot to do. And the first layers, the basic layers of my art, I still have a lot to do. Again, I'm using a new technique, which is this 2-color thing, only blue and peach, sort of peach. I don't know precisely what's the name of this color. Peach, silk. Thanks again for coming. This is the first art I'm doing with this Ohuhu. You can check my previous one. I think will be later. The video, the highlights will be there. I did the main character, which is called Kaio, and it was the first time. This is the second art I'm doing using these markers. For sure I need to do another layer here. I think maybe it's a bit too bright. I need some sort of darker peach. Give a little bit more, volume. And again, if you like what you are seeing, please subscribe to my channel. And if you want to learn more about my story, you can check on the link. The book is free. Already 20,000, close to 20,000 people have read my book. So yeah, there, at least on Manga Plaza, I have already a lot of people who are liking my art, my manga. So if you want to check my story, you can see actually how this villain was created on my book. Later, of course, I need to make these black lines more clean. This is again just the beginning of the art. And it's my second attempt with these Ohu markers. Ohuhu, Oahu. Wahoo. I don't know how to pronounce. It's pretty hard. Again, thanks for coming. I'm doing the first layer of the color, the peach color. Again, I need to do so many layers. This is just the beginning. Again, if you want to learn about my story, you can check on the link. It took me a long time to finally do this book, this manga. I actually started creation of this story long ago, maybe around 25 years ago, and then finally I decided to put put on the paper. Of course, I have changed a lot of things on the story. Not the core is the same. But for example, I have 2 children, and of course I'm basing both of them on the my kids let's say characteristics. I don't know how to pronounce. So yes, I'm using them, and for the main, because it's 3 main heroes, no? For this, at least for this instance in my book. So 2 of them this is inspired by my kids, the character of them, the persona, and there is one lady which it's inspired through my life. First layer is done from this color. Now I need to do the first layer of the background. This background is maybe there is 2 layers here from the blue. From the peach it's only 1. Here there's only 1. This will be the background later. I need to do it. This will be like a sort of corner on a wall. But as it is for now, I just want to do the first layer of the background. Maybe here I put a little bit like a shadow, from his body. I think it'll be cool. Again, thanks for coming. If you want to learn more about my book, you can check on the link, it's free. Around 20,000 people have read already my book. So on Manga Plus, I already have my people. I need to fix the art, but first I need to kill this white color so I can see proper what I need to do. Okay, first layer, it's okay. Now I need to start to prepare myself for the other layers. Okay, where I start? If you're new to my channel, thanks for coming. This is a villain from my own story, my own book, my own manga called Higher. Thanks for coming. If you want to check more about my book, my manga, you can just click on the link. You will see my manga there. It's free. And already 20,000 people have read my book, which is pretty cool. Organically. With your support, I can maybe make this thing happen here on a YouTube. Thanks for coming again. As I said before, I'm using a technique which I have seen on TikTok. There was a gentleman, he's just using the two colors, and I decided to try this technique. It's pretty cool and actually pretty easy. I don't know who was the person who created this. Maybe this was created like long ago. This technique. If you have the name, I think it's something called lo-fi. I don't know precisely the name of this technique, but it's pretty cool. Again, thanks for coming. If you like what you've seen, you can just, if you can like, subscribe, it will help me a lot to grow my channel. making the background right now. Just the first, again, the second layer, I could say, just to make it more soft. But again, I'm still in the initial phase of the whole art. I still need to do a lot of things on his body, a lot of effects. Right now it's still very raw, but it's getting there. And again, I'm trying to use this effect which I have seen on TikTok, which the guy is just showing, like using two colors. I don't need to be really careful with this background because it will be a wall, not a smooth wall. I don't know if I will have ink enough till I finish this drawing, because this challenge consumes a lot of glue. Again, if you want to check who is him, you can see on my manga, which is on the link below. You can see on the chat. It's free. So if you like manga, if you like shonen style, if you're a fan, let's say, of Jujutsu Kaisen, Naruto, Dragon Ball, all this shonen style, you for sure you might like my manga. And again, please don't forget to subscribe, to like my video. I appreciate for you to come here and check my art. Okay, another layer. Don't need to be even. If you're new to my channel, it's about my manga story, and it's called Higher. And there is like several types of villains, and as this instance in my manga, you have three main characters. Of course, more will join later, but three main, and one of them even let's say the main character, which is called Caio, you can see on some of my videos. And it's a fight between let's say our aura world, which is the plus, A plus, and minus, which is the absence, and it's where most of the villains can access our world, and they cannot have contact with humans. Beside this one, this villain is not made on hell, he's made on earth, which is the sum of all fear. His name is Metus. And if you want to check how they create him, you can check on my manga. And of course, you cannot see him adult yet on my book, because it's just the first manga that I have made. I have around 150, 160 pages. And yes, I'm already in the process to do the next one. Still so much to do, so much. Ay, 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 ay. Thanks for coming. If you want to know a little bit more about my story, you can check on Manga Plus. It's free. Around 20,000 people have read my book already from there. So I'm starting to take this thing seriously. I have created a story around 25 years ago, and of course I have changed a few things. So if you want to learn a little bit more, you can check on the link on the chat. Again, the book is free, and with your support I can make these things happen. Huh? Also, if you can kindly like my videos, or if you can subscribe, or your friends, whatever who likes anime, it will help me a lot. Thank you so much. Okay, now background. Now I need to make a wall. Thanks again for coming. This is one of the villains of my book. His name is Metus. If you want to learn more where he came from, you can check on my book. If you like what you see, please subscribe to my channel. If you can like at least, I'll be pretty happy. I'm trying to make this story happen. I have created long ago. And of course I have changed a few things with the time. Especially the main characters, personality. This guy here, it's one of the villains. His name is Metus, and he's the sum of all fears. He's the only villain who was not created on Hell, and he lives on the Aura world, which is ours. In my book, this is the way we call, which is A+, and A- is where the other villains, they can access and be close to us, but they cannot walk among us, only him. And of course he hides his Metus, is the sum of all fears, so although he's one of the villains, he likes to stay in the shadow. He doesn't want to be seen. If you like manga, and if you want to give me some advice on art, I'll be happy to listen. And if you want to check my other videos, you can see the other villains, you can see the main characters of the book. Check my manga, you can see on the chat, on the link below. It's free again on Manga Plus. Still so much needs to be done. This wall I'll make a little bit more peach, because otherwise it will be the same color as him, will be confusing. This is the light, so here the same. Let's see, which color should I use? Again, I'm trying these Ohuhu markers called Ohuhu Wahoo, something like this. I still don't know how to pronounce this thing. Second time I'm trying to use these markers. They're pretty good. Doesn't bleed at all. It's been a blast working with this pens and this marker, sorry. And yeah, I recommend you, highly recommend you. These markers are amazing. I still have another Ohuhu, but that time I bought water base, but alcohol base is so much better. Again, I'm trying to, trying this technique which I found on TikTok. The guy was just using 2 colors. I thought it was pretty cool. I really like it. I really enjoy it. So I'm testing the same style of painting, but on manga style. The gentleman was using other sort of art, and I try to to use the same style, not the same colors, but the same style in manga. And the results are pretty good. Oh, it's already 3 o'clock in the morning. Thanks again for checking my video. Again, if you can like, subscribe, or share with your friends who likes manga, who likes anime, I will highly appreciate it. It will help me to make this thing happen. Again, the book is free. Again, you can check on the link on the chat. Guys, thank you so much. I will wrap this up for today. Unfortunately, I couldn't finish, but for sure I will show you the end result. So please, if you want to keep, understanding about how it will end this work, just please subscribe, like, and see you next time. Thank you.